Hello and welcome. You're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live web TV conversation portal. Well, as you know, we have been discussing the elections and now we are going to focus on Karnataka. Well, the BJP entered Karnataka, it emerged in Karnataka only a decade back. It came to power in 2008 and those 5 years saw 3 chief ministers, scandals, corruption and dissidence. Then it got a huge drubbing in 2013 assembly elections. Will the BJP be able to salvage itself this time? Well, the exit polls seem to think so. And to join me in this conversation, I have with me in the studio senior journalist KG Suresh. Hi, and thank you so much for joining the conversation. All right. So first of all, let's go across to the various exit polls that are coming in. I will be displaying that on the screen. Yes, there we have it. All right. Times now, as you can see, Suresh, is giving a whole lot of seats to the BJP, 18 and 9 to the Congress, whereas the IBN Live has given an edge to the Congress with 14 and 12 to the BJP. And COPS, which is in fact a city-based, a Bangalore-based political research institute, that's the Creative Center for Social and Political Studies, gives the BJP 14 and the Congress 10. Your first thoughts on the exit polls?
Well, this time it's a tough call for all the political parties.
Right.
On the one hand, you have the Congress, which is facing anti-incumbency only at the center. I would still say that in Karnataka, it's honeymoon period,
yes,
so far as Siddaramaiah is concerned.
Absolutely.
But the good point with BJP is that they have got Yedi back. Now, Yedi was responsible for the decline of the BJP in the last elections, rather the fall of the BJP government to a great extent. But the moot question is, will Yedi be able to revive the magic, the old magic? Yedi is a popular leader. I mean, in modern India, we hate to talk about caste, but caste is a reality.
Yes.
And he is the leader of the Lingayat community. But even then, if you look at the history of the BJP, or for that matter, any party, any top leader who leaves the party once and returns, he has never been able to revive that magic. I'll give you the instance of Uma Bharati, who represented the Lodh community.
Yes.
And she had a huge support base. And later we found that in Madhya Pradesh, she could not even retain her assembly seat, forget the Lok Sabha seat. The same happened with Kalyan Singh, the most popular perhaps, Hindutva poster boy after the 1992 incident, Ayodhya incident. Now, even when he returned to the party, the Lodh community, which was with him in Uttar Pradesh, they did not back him to that extent, and his popularity waned.
So why do you think so many seats to the BJP in these exit polls? Is it the Modi factor?
Yes. But at the end of the day, you see, today this election is for Lok Sabha.
Right.
And you have a whole lot of, IT professionals there, youngsters, who want change, who want something to happen at the center, who can, kind of somebody who is seen as pro-development, who is seen to be delivering, who at least has an image, a perception of being clean. So I think that they are looking at Modi as a person who can be some kind of a messiah, who can take them out of this morass, this indecisiveness, this political vacuum that has been created. So somewhere along, Modi is a very, very crucial factor so so whatever loss has happened on account of Yediyurappa's, kind of image taking a beating, I think that Modi has been able to make up. But still, I would say that Congress, you cannot write it off.
Absolutely.
Congress, Siddaramaiah's advantage is that, you see, he is neither a Lingayat nor a Vokaliga. He is a Kuruba. Now,
but he's a grassroots.
Yes, that's what I said.
Who's come from
he represents the OBCs. He has got great support among them. He has not fared badly. Whether it is he has brought out some welfare schemes, including free rice, free milk and, subsidized milk, heavily subsidized, which is contributing to, particularly among the rural folk, the poorer people in the urban slums. So they are all impressed by that. So I think that, and even in the, say, you have somebody like Nandan Nilekani who is contesting as a Congress candidate. So I think that it would be naive on our part just to ignore Congress just because of the Modi wave. Modi factor is there.
All right. Let me, Suresh, let me just try and connect to Mr. Elangovan, who is an IT entrepreneur. He's joining us through Google Hangout from Bangalore. Mr. Elangovan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
All right. The audio is.
Me?
Okay, I can't hear you too well, Mr. Elangovan. You'll have to speak a bit louder, please. Mr. Elangovan.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear me, but your audio is very low. Okay. We'll just try and see if we can get Mr. Elangovan's audio back on track. It seems to be really a low level audio. Okay, you were talking about the Modi factor and the
Yes.
the youth. Yes, you talked of but what about the rural areas of
Yes, that's what I
Karnataka?
said. That is where you see that is where the Congress has a very good chance of performing, and I think that to write off the Congress would be naive. Congress is going to, I would rather, today as I see it, Congress is having the edge.
So you would rather agree with the IBN live?
With the IBN, yes.
Exit.
And BJP seems to be losing on whatever, it had gained.
Mr. Elangovan, okay, I think we've lost contact. We'll try and get him back. All right. Let's, once more talk about...
And this is very ironical that, you see, this was the only state where the lotus bloomed south of Vindhyas.
Yes.
And today you have a situation where you have BJP in Andhra Pradesh, you have BJP in Tamil Nadu, at least they are in contest. They were non-entities, virtual non-entities. Now they have a 5-party alliance in Tamil Nadu. In neighboring Andhra Pradesh, they have got a tie-up with TDP. And
no, it was only in 2004 that it actually emerged.
Yes.
It became the single largest party, 79 seats.
So
yes.
At a time when they seem to be on the rise in other southern states,
yes,
they are on the decline in a state where they first, made their debut.
All right. Okay, Mr. Elangovan, okay, we seem to have you back. Welcome to the conversation, sir. Oh, I think we've lost him again. All right, there seems to be a connection problem, but we'll keep trying. Sorry to interrupt you there. Yeah, you were talking about.
So this is very ironical that it is happening at a time when the party seems to be on the ascendant when it comes to the other southern states,
but,
except for Kerala. Kerala, I still believe, is a distant call for BJP.
Yeah.
But yes.
But Karnataka is a very important state.
Karnataka is a very important in terms of seats, you see.
Yes.
They are trying their level best not to win more seats. Rather, this time around, I think their strategy is to retain at least whatever they had gained. That would be approximately about 19 seats.
Yes, it won 19 seats in 2009.
So that they are trying to retain. And I think that even if they are able to, reach anywhere near 14, 15, I think that would be fairly successful because of the, dent in the image. You see, when they have brought back Yediyurappa, on the one hand, Lingayats may have come back.
Yes.
But
because the upper caste votes have shifted to the BJP in the state, hasn't it?
Yes, upper caste because of the, Modi factor. And Yediyurappa has brought some of the Lingayats back. But then there is a middle class section which is not very comfortable with the idea of, corruption, and they have their very strong feelings about that. So they may feel that, with Yediyurappa coming back, Sri Ramulu coming back into the party, over which even Sushma Swaraj expressed reservations over Sri Ramulu joining the party, merging his party with BSR Congress with BJP. So she had expressed a reservation. So if you look at that, then there is a feeling that maybe it can cause a little bit of damage to the party.
All right. In fact, let's see what some of our the NES poll findings, post-poll findings, BJP supporters and what they have to say about the re-entry of Yediyurappa. In fact, should Yedurappa have been readmitted? 43% say yes, but 49% say no.
Yes.
And of course,
But I can
8%
assure
is-
you that they are not Lingayats, the 49%. They must be mostly, from the upper caste and the other support base of the party, not the Lingayat
So you're saying that the
votes.
Yedurappa will not be able to consolidate the Hindutva agenda of the BJP as well? I mean, once
Because
he
you
gets
see,
back to the
it
party.
could be about perception. I'm saying that maybe the courts have acquitted him, but politics is all about perception. And Yediyurappa's name is being taken across the country, not just in Karnataka. I mean, when it comes to hitting the BJP, so you would see even a Rahul Gandhi taking Mr. Yediyurappa's name. Digvijay is saying, you name any Congress leader. So whenever the CWG scam or the coal scam or the, whatever 2G is raised, they hit back with that, Yediyurappa thing. And over which, there have been, people have expressed their reservation, though, he is no more in the,
Right.
yeah.
Let me talk to Mr. Elangovan. I think we have managed to connect with him. Mr. Elangovan?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah,
can
hi,
hear you
can
too.
you hear me?
Hi. Welcome to the conversation. Okay, I think you have been...
Sorry.
I think you've been off
Thank
and
you.
on following the exit polls as well as the
Yeah.
the graphic, the infographic we just showed you on the re-entry of Yedurappa and how well it
Yeah.
could augur for the BJP really. What are your comments on the exit poll? First
Yeah.
question.
I think the constituencies where they could predict based on the past records and the different demographics. I think there it makes sense. But otherwise, at the end of the day, it's still a model, right? I can tell you based on the campaign that we did, right? It very difficult to predict, what a voter has done or what a voter will do, right? Because in India, we don't talk about typical job for the exit poll, modelers and the topologists. But yeah, I think that's the best estimate you can get. So probably we'll go with what they have until that.
All right, his audio was not too clear,
Yes.
so I didn't get you very clearly, Mr. Elangovan. But can I quickly ask you a yes or a no? Do you think Yedurappa's re-entry to BJP will help the BJP? Yes or no?
I think it will. I
Okay.
think it will.
Why? Because of consolidation of the Lingayats?
It's not just that. At the end of the day, he's the one who built the party in Karnataka. Right?
Okay, Mr. Elangovan, your audio is really not clear. But what I think you're saying is that he's the one who actually who played a big part in strengthening the BJP in the state. I think that is what he's trying to say.
Absolutely.
Really.
I totally agree with him. You see,
However, like you said, when it comes to people leaving the party and coming back, then the magic kind of wears off.
well, that has been the experience
Yes.
everywhere in the country, unless Karnataka is an exception. Because you see, I believe that leaders also come with, not in terms of mortality, but in terms of popularity, with an expiry date. They have their own time. So I think Yedurappa had peaked his time at that time. And now you see he's on the lower side of the... So I think that yes, no doubt he built the party. Mr. Advani had built the BJP assiduously. But today, in terms of popularity, Mr. Advani is nowhere near Mr. Modi.
Also, what I think,
Yeah.
what didn't work for Mr. Yedurappa is, he was not getting along. There was a lot of dissidence, once he had to step down as
Yes.
chief minister.
Yes.
When
His
Mr.
own people, the people he mentored,
Yes.
they turned against him.
Sadanand Gowda,
Yes.
and later on even Jagdish Shetty, who
Yes.
was his man.
He was his man.
He was his man, and
Yes.
after that even they had a falling out.
Yes, yes.
So I think that...
And that is apparently because you see he wanted his agenda to be pursued, and certainly you see they felt that they are not puppets. They will have to. They try to assert themselves. They try to break free, and tried to be independent. And that is why he earned more enemies within the party than outside, you see.
Right.
He was always a great organizer. He is a great organizational man. He single-handedly built the party.
Yes, which is what Mr. Elangovan was also saying.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely, no doubt about it. But then you see, in a political career, in a public career, it is perception at the end of the day which matters. And somewhere, when it comes to the perception, I would say he lost the perception battle, and his image has been dented severely. For whether he is actually guilty or not, the courts will predict. You know, it is for them to give the verdict. But the damage has been done.
Mr. Elangovan, what are your thoughts on the Modi factor? How important has that been in people's minds when it came to voting for or against the BJP?
I think among the undecided, right?
Yeah.
Among the undecided, he has definitely been a factor.
Okay.
Right? I think he ran a phenomenal campaign. And the Gujarat model has been marketed very well, right? And it's not just Modi. I think the fact that the BJP governments in Goa, in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, they all seem to have done a reasonably good job, right? So all that also has helped the BJP. But yeah, definitely Modi has.
Is this in the urban as well as rural parts, Mr. Elangovan? Is this in the urban as well as rural parts?
I think it's primarily urban, but yeah, among the rural also. Because see, I have seen the Modi, those video vans, right, which put those LCD screens and his videos, right. So people recognize them. As somebody, I've seen him on TV, right. Whereas if you look at many of the Congress leaders, like Manmohan Singh or whatever, right, who have been very reticent, even coming on press conferences or any of those things, right. So that way, I think Modi as a product has been marketed much better than
right.
The opposition.
In fact, let me show both of you a little infographic of what NES post-poll survey has done on the Modi factor. It's 57% of BJP voters said that they would not vote if Modi had not been the prime ministerial candidate. So you see, the Modi factor is as big as 57%.
I totally agree. In fact, Modi has...
And only 23% voted for the BJP as a party. It was 57% for Modi.
Yes.
So as you can see, Mr. Elangovan is smiling because what he just said has been kind of ratified in a survey.
BJP minus Modi is 116 at the national level. You see, it is Modi is the USP of the BJP. But for Mr. Modi, what is the inspirational leadership there? Who can, because it's the old leadership. 2009, you had Mr. Advani as the prime ministerial candidate, and you saw the results. For the young India, for the young voters, they are looking at a figure, a personality who can bring them out of this morass, this entire crisis. So I think that he has been able to market himself very well.
But you also said let's not write off the Congress
in Karnataka.
We are talking only Karnataka.
And to that extent, I would say the credit goes to Siddaramaiah.
Yes, let's talk to Mr. Elangovan about Siddaramaiah. It's only been a year since he took over, and he is a grassroots level leader. He's a great organizer. How well do you think Siddaramaiah's organizational skills will do for the Lok Sabha elections for the Congress?
I think he did well because even for let's say Nandan's campaign, right? We did have the transport minister being part of the campaign as an integrated part of the campaign, right? So they did. I think that idea is what the party which he can do, right? So.
Mr. Elangovan, I'm having an audio problem again. In hearing you. Let's talk about.
Well, I totally agree with him. You see, at the end of the day, as I said earlier, for the Congress, Yediyurappa is the saving grace. It's not because of Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi. It's because of this man against whom there is no anti-incumbency so far. believe me, it's still the honeymoon period. So he is reaping the dividends of the honeymoon period. So because he has come out with certain welfare schemes that is actually, doing well with the rural masses, with the poor, and he has been able to consolidate the OBCs, the Dalits, so to say, and that has been his MasterCard, and that he has been able to exploit to the hilt. So I would say that that has been able to. So when you look at the unlike other states where where Congress ruled states, where they are facing a double anti-incumbency, you see. You have the anti-incumbency against the central government, which has been there for 10 years, as well as the state government. But right. Here it's only a single anti-incumbency that, and let us not forget that at the peak of the anti-corruption movement in the country, you had Mr. Siddaramaiah winning the assembly elections.
Right.
So I don't think that. So this 2G and Commonwealth was there even at that time.
Yes.
When Siddaramaiah. So I think that the people of Karnataka are pretty clear. When it comes to national elections, I think that yes, the Modi factor is going to, and that's why they are retaining a lot of seats.
But it's going to be a close fight, it seems.
Even
the exit polls say that it's going to be a close fight.
It's a close fight, yes.
Right?
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about some of the interesting seats, that are there. I mean, sadly for a constituency like Bangalore South, where you have a Nandan Nilekani,
yes.
of the Congress contesting, and Anant Kumar fighting for the sixth time.
Yes.
The lowest voter turnout.
Yes.
55%.
Yes.
So what does that really speak?
Well, Bangalore overall has shown like
lack of
Mumbai last time.
Yes.
You see, Mumbai was always criticized, and even Delhi to some extent.
Yes.
But gradually both Mumbai and Delhi have picked up considerably, but Bangalore has been, kind of attacked by a lot of people because of this indifference to the political. And I think that it's this frustration with the system there that has been responsible for that. And maybe, it's also a reflection on, though I am a little, amazed for the very fact that when the anti-corruption movement was at its peak, you had a lot of youngsters who were out on the streets along with people like Hegde,
Why do you think if Mr. Elangovan is still there, is Mr. Elangovan still with us on Skype? Okay, we'll just try and reconnect with him, because I wanted to ask him the Bangalore, why was there such a, low turnout?
I mean, you had people like Kiran Shah Mazumdar who really, I saw them on television saying that
Mr.
we feel ashamed of being a Bangalorean.
Mr. Elangovan, such a low turnout in Bangalore, such indifference.
Yeah, so I think there are different reasons. See, one, it was a long weekend, right? So, a lot of people just went on vacation. I think that was probably one. But I think on a serious note, I think we did have a lot of issues with the electoral roll. Right? People whose names were on the list don't live in those addresses. So either they moved out of that house, or they moved out of the constituency, right? So I think
No, but overall the indifference was there. The indifference was palpable.
Basically, the electoral rolls itself, how accurate is it?
Right. Right. Do you think Anant Kumar, Mr. Elangovan,
the long weekend, I think, right? In our series, these are all people who are in the IT industry who work.
Do you think Anant Kumar will retain Bangalore South, or do you think Nandan Nilekani has because most polls exit polls are predicting that he will regain. He will retain. Anant Kumar will retain. Do you think he'll retain, or do you think Nandan Nilekani has a chance?
So that's what I'm saying. No, I think Nandan has a very good chance. See, the reason I'm saying this is for the exit polls, right? This is a tough constituency, right? See, because here is the common refrain is the right man and the
I'm having an audio trouble again.
Both.
All right, I think I'm not able to hear him very clearly again, but okay, he is saying, Elangovan is saying that Nandan Nilekani has a very
Nandan is no doubt putting up a good fight. You see, he represents corporate India, and the biggest factor going in his advantage is that he was honest enough to admit that Unlike other leaders who said, that they don't even have a car, which you cannot even, you find it difficult to digest.
Yes.
This man openly comes out and says that I have 700 crore plus.
Yes.
And, people are there who are, he is the richest candidate in the Lok Sabha election. So he has been transparent enough so far as that is concerned. But then the fact also remains that Anantakumar over the years has done a lot for his constituency, and plus that there is the Modi factor which are going to help him. And Nandan, he might have been a great success as a corporate entity, as a corporate persona. But then let us not forget that as the UIDA chairman, when it came to the UID cards, it was a disaster.
Right. What do you think were the main issues in Karnataka for the voters? We'll wrap up the conversation now, but what do you think the voters had in mind when they were talking about, when they were, going to the polls?
Well, I think that when it came to the rural voters, certainly there fundamental problems that they have been facing, which includes, poverty, unemployment. But when it comes to the urban voters, I think that they were concerned about corruption. They were concerned about, price rise.
Right.
I think, and these are issues which concerns the center. And there I think that maybe, Mr. Modi or BJP for that matter has an advantage, because they feel that this man can reduce the prices, this man can put an end to corruption.
Right. In fact, we have the NES post-poll survey, which again, like you said,
yes,
talked of corruption as the biggest issue, and of course, thereafter development, and then comes price rise.
Yeah.
All right. So those are the main issues that people went to vote with, those issues in the mind at the central level.
Yes.
And corruption is something that the BJP has been consistently targeting when it comes to the polls.
But only thing is that when it comes to their own backyard, that is where I said that despite the Lingayat consolidation,
right,
there is this, this Yediyurappa factor,
all right,
which can put off some of these, people who are actually concerned about corruption.
Okay, thank you so much, KG Suresh, for joining us.
Pleasure.
I would like to thank Elangovan also for coming with joining us on this conversation. The conversation continues on India Post Live. You can send in your tweets, hashtag India Post Live. Please write in your comments at indiapostlive.com. Conversations continue. Thank you so much for watching.